Last time we were together, we were in this exact same room, but from a different angle. I had the camera over there, and you were looking from one perspective. Now you're looking at it from a different perspective. And really, if you think about it, on Holy Thursday, we are in a very different place than we were yesterday. Yesterday around the table, it was a table of anger and hatred and jealousy and discontent. The Pharisees and scribes and teachers of the law, the high priest Caiaphas, they were determined in their jealousy to want to get rid of Jesus. And then Judas comes in and offers them the opportunity to capture him at night. Well, today, Holy Thursday, it's a different table, a very different kind of table. This is not a table of anger. This is a table that is to be characterized by love. Jesus is going to begin the night by washing the disciples' feet. They're going to come in and they're going to be shocked. They're going to say to one another, "What is a rabbi doing washing feet? That's a job for a slave." But Jesus insists that he wants to do this. And he wants to do it to fulfill all righteousness. That is, to show himself as the humble servant he came to be, to do what God wanted him to do. He was going to be a sacrifice for sinners. Peter is furious. He will not let Jesus wash his feet. "Not I," he says. "You'll never wash my feet." And Jesus says to him, "Peter, if I don't wash your feet, you have no part in me." That is, you need to be ready to receive that gift I wish to give. I'm ultimately going to give you the sacrifice of my body on the cross to pay the price for all your sins. But now I want to offer you this washing. And so Peter relents and allows Jesus to wash his feet. They come together, they sit around the table. And Jesus, in celebrating the Passover, transforms it with the words he says. Let me read to you from Matthew 26. While they were eating, Jesus took bread, gave thanks, and broke it, and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take and eat, this is my body." Then he took the cup, gave thanks, and offered it to them, saying, "Drink from it, all of you. This is the blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins." A table of love. Jesus is passing around the greatest gifts of love. Instead of a Passover festival, he is saying, "You are receiving, my disciples, the very body and blood that I will give and shed for you tomorrow on the cross. You are already participating in it. And indeed they did. The night continues, and Jesus makes it clear that one of them will betray him. They're distraught. "Surely not I," they say. "Not I, Lord." And around the table, every voice speaks probably. "Is it I, Lord? Is it I?" One who knows it is him even says the words, "Is it I?" Jesus makes clear to that disciple, Judas, that he knows that it's him. But he also knows that every single one around the table is going to forsake him. They're all going to betray him. Even Peter, who later is going to say, "Not I, Lord, I will never betray you." Jesus says, "Yes, it is you and you and you and you. But I'm not here to point a finger and condemn you. I am here to offer you my very body and blood for the forgiveness of your sins." As they receive, I doubt they fully understood what they received that night. But Jesus offered to them his most precious gifts. After they celebrated the supper, Jesus prayed a very fervent prayer on their behalf. And he also offers them those very poignant words, "A new command I give unto you. Love one another. Greater love has no one than this, that he laid down his life for his friends. Jesus offers them the command to love and to serve. This is why, by the way, we call it Maundy Thursday. The word Maundy is based on the Latin mandate, mandatum, which means command Thursday, and the command that he gives is for us to love one another. Something we ought always to be thinking about as we serve the Lord and as we receive his precious gifts. A little afterward, the disciples go out. Jesus asked them to go out to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray. They are in one place and he is in another, and they are so tired that they keep falling asleep. But Jesus prays with the fervency of the Son of God, knowing he's about to undergo that most horrific experience of the cross in his own flesh and blood. He comes back to them and he finds them asleep again, and a second time, and a third time. They've already begun the process of forsaking him. But Jesus keeps going to the Father, and his prayers are so fervent that his sweat is as drops of blood, and an angel comes and ministers to him. Finally, the night ends as Judas comes with the guard. And the guard are ready to take Jesus forcibly. They come with swords and clubs. Peter jumps up and he is anguished. He takes his sword and even strikes the high priest's ear. But Jesus shows again that this evening is about love. And so even those who are coming to capture him, he heals that high priest's ear, or high priest servant's ear, right on the spot. The disciples scatter, and Jesus is utterly alone as they take him to be tried before Caiaphas. They take him to the high priest's place, and when they do, many false accusations are made concerning him, but none of them can agree. But it becomes clear that Jesus does view himself to be the Messiah. And as he speaks to the high priest in anger rips his robes and says, "This man is worthy of death." And the kangaroo court of the Sanhedrin gathered for that night agrees, and they condemn Jesus to death. But they won't be actually able to put him to the cross because the Romans have control of crucifixion. And so now they're going to have to go and petition Pontius Pilate to enable them to have Jesus crucified. And so that's the next step, and that's going to take us very early into Friday morning. Maundy Thursday is a busy night, a busy time in the life of Jesus. But let that word that we mentioned earlier ring out over it all. This is a table of love. And as Jesus comes to you today, he says, "Take and eat. This is my body given for you because I love you. Take and drink. This is my precious blood shed for you because I love you. And as you receive the free flow of forgiveness from me, please offer also that same forgiveness to one another. Let it flow. Love one another." Blessed Holy Thursday to you. We will see you again tomorrow.